Now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PUCL Podcast.
It's PUCL! PUCL! It's PUCL! PUCL! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PUCL! PUCL.
And welcome to the 493rd episode of the PUCL Podcast. I am your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my wonderful, as always, co-host. We've got the fluffiest Whimsicott.
Hi, everyone.
And we've got Lynian.
Hello.
Hopefully isn't jet lagged.
I got some sleep. We're good. It was only an hour off anyway.
That's not bad, actually. That's
Fair.
not bad. All right, so we're here to bring you the PUCL Podcast. PUCL, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007. We talk everything here Pokemon, from the video game to the trading card game to everything in between. Yeah, I think that's my spiel. Today we've got some fun stuff to talk about. I don't know what you guys have been up to lately, if anything, other than maybe like snapping pictures. But
well, I do have a confession to make.
Oh.
I have cheated on you. I was on another podcast.
Oh, I heard about this. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. There's this new podcast called Gotta Snatch 'em All, and the host was nice enough to want to interview me on his show. And it's like, I like it. I love it. It's a show about the relationship of people in the LGBT plus community with Pokemon. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed being on it. If you want to like check out my interview, you can. It's fun. I thought it was fun. I did talk a lot, but is anyone surprised?
Gosh, Whims,
No.
you talked a lot? I'm shocked and appalled, even.
Right?
Yeah, so out of
That's not
character.
like me at all.
So out of character. Yeah. Definitely go check that out. What about you, Lynian? Anything fun, exciting with you?
I mean, plenty of things, but not the only real. There were two Pokemon things. I got a picture of every Pokemon in Snap. I've got that.
Ooh.
I don't have each rarity because I'm not a maniac. Shark.
Joe Merrick. Joe Merrick like went up and beyond. By the way, he's like trying to do every single interaction.
Yeah, that man is a madman.
But that's his job, kind of. So
Yeah,
Kind of.
It's impressive because they keep finding more, and I'm like, wow, they really put a lot in here.
New Pokemon Snap is legitimately a buffet.
Yeah.
It is great. You will not be like, man, I've wasted $60 here. I don't think you'd feel that way if you bought new Pokemon Snap.
I would say as long as it's a genre that you can deal with, then I would agree. But if there's some people who are just not going to like the gameplay, but that's true of any game.
yeah.
Yes.
The other thing is this week I went to Build-A-Bear
Oh,
man.
kind of on a whim, and it turns out they had a Score Bunny.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Do they have the other ones or just Score Bunny?
So Score Bunny was really new. Like, it had only been out for like a week-ish, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, somewhere around there. So there were Score Bunny, Pikachu, Eevee, but it looks like the other Galar starters were coming soon.
cool.
Looks like Score Bunny was just the first.
I've paid like some attention. I don't know. I went and I got like when Pokemon first came, I went and got the Build-A-Bear Pikachu a few years ago, and it's okay. I don't know. I'd much rather just buy the plush from Pokemon. So maybe that's just me like being a purist, like a horrible purist.
I'm actually really impressed with just like the quality of it. It's really
It's good.
It's incredibly well made. The proportions on it are great. If I had a small child, it looks about the size you would want for a little kid to be able to hold it at night. Where the Pokemon Center ones are just a little, I think they're a little small for something like that.
No, they totally are.
And also, I could buy like this little, and I did because it's hilarious. There's like a little voice chip thing that you can put in it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And it has 5 of the anime Score Bunny voice clips recorded.
Yeah, you could also get the Build-A-Bear heart and kiss it.
I did. I did the whole heart ceremony because I am not a callous soul.
Oh, that's too good.
That was a good day.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, that's fun. I haven't done any. I only went once for the Pikachu, and like every once in a while they'll put something else up, and then I just think to myself, I'm like, I could just buy the plush, and I'll be happy. And yeah, that's more for me though. I'm not like being like, oh, I'm gonna buy this for my kid or something. I think it's a fun experience to do once.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I need to like watch a Score Bunny or an Eevee get inflated by stuffing or anything right now.
Why would you say it like that?
Yeah.
That is what happens. But myself, I've been getting super excited. I've been getting all the pieces together to start doing like a full like 100% Gen 1 run. And this is probably something I've been the most excited about in my entire life, or in like a very long time. Like, at least I am very excited for doing this. Like, from both just like doing it as a Pokemon fan to also doing it as like in terms of content, because like the thing that I get really upset with being like, I think a good example of this is why I still haven't played Mystery Dungeon Explores the Sky, because I think to myself, oh, I need to save it for content. And then I think to myself, well, playing Mystery Dungeon is a lot of fun, but I like to just do it like while I'm in bed. You know, but if I play it in bed, then people are missing out on it when I'm making content.
Yeah.
And this is such a big project that I'm just like, well, there's no way I can do all of it on camera or like on podcasts or anything.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I thought to myself, I'm like, well, I can like use Twitter maybe for the first time in my life. And I'm like, yeah, I could like post updates there, and I can just do it off camera, and like when big moments happen, take the picture and like send it out to everybody else.
That's cute.
To let them know what happened. I'm very excited. I bought like an extra copy of Pokemon Blue to start it on because I didn't want to lose my OG Blue save.
Oh, of course.
Or like right at I don't know, like sentimental reasons. It's a very bad sentimental, like, I don't know. I don't get sentimental over a lot of things, but that's like the one thing where it's just like, I don't want to overwrite my Blue save, even though I can like back it up on my computer and everything, which I have done. I'm like, I'm not going to erase it. I don't want to risk it.
I would never do that. I understand that perfectly.
Yeah, I'm very emotionally attached to that save. And so I'm just like, I'm not going to do that. But the idea is like more than just playing like through Pokemon Blue and like doing living decks in Gen 1. Like I also want to try to like 100% Stadium 1. Like I want like the full Gen 1 experience. I want to become a master of Gen 1. You know what I mean? Like I want to learn how the EVs in their broken system work.
Stat EXP.
Yeah, Stat EXP. I want to figure out how that works. I want to do like all these cool things. Getting the cartridge today, and if my wife allows it, I'm gonna try to stream tonight as of recording. So if you are listening to this already happened, sorry. I wanted to try to like get it started and like have a good time. I have a thing that I'm setting up so that people can help nickname the living decks, because the thing I didn't mention that I want to do that I'm very excited about is somebody developed a program so you can rip a save from a Pokemon Blue cartridge. And you can throw it into a program that'll convert it to a way that the Pokemon Blue on the Virtual Console can read it.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning this, actually.
Yeah, and so what I want to do is, like, once everything's done, we have, like, the full living decks in Pokemon Blue, and, like, we're done with Pokemon Stadium. We're going to go ahead and just move it all over to a Virtual Console save of Pokemon Blue, and then just upload it to bank and then to home.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this. I'm maybe more so than I should be.
I mean, it's kind of the forbidden dream of all of us who played Pokemon Red and Blue back in the day.
Yeah, I want to do it. I have a thing set up so people can like follow along. Like I have a sheet I'm setting up on Google Docs, and I'm going to set it up in such a way that people can like donate on Twitch, and they can like nickname certain ones.
Cool.
If they want like to like put it on my journey, you know. They want to nickname something, so that way if it happens off screen, they can still have like the donation, like have it reserved or whatever.
Yeah,
and that way they can still have their Pokemon nicknamed. So I'm very, very, very excited for this. I don't care if people donate or anything to it. I just want to do it. I just want to say, like, I've done it. I've 100% Gen 1. I know a lot about Gen 1 now. And then once that happens, maybe we do Gen 2.
That's cool.
Maybe we'll do Gen 2. We'll see. 'Cause I think Pokemon Stadium 2 is better than Pokemon Stadium 1 for a lot of reasons. Well, we can talk about that another day. Talk about it another day. But I just thought it'd be really fun to do. So join me on my journey if you can. Just like head over to Twitch, and then maybe we'll like throw some stuff on YouTube, because I'm sure like there'll be random stuff that I do. I'm thinking about modding a Game Boy Color with an IPS screen, so I can like play it on OG hardware at the same time. So follow us all around, and we can do that. All right, but this is a good place to stop. There's like real news to talk about, and not just Thatch's passion projects. So let's kick it on over to the news. Let's cue that epic music.
Live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
And welcome to the news. In the news, P. McGee forgot to do his job. I know. It's okay. Everybody's allowed to drop the ball, including myself, which I did. So it's all good. Looking at this week, there was actually a few things that happened that are semi-interesting, like PokeTunes, which is this like weird thing that came out, I guess last year at some point, where they're just like, yeah, we're going to do random old-style cartoons, but with Pokemon in them. And they did. And they're like all in different kinds of cartoons, because it's like the cartoons from like the 1940s and like the 1950s, stuff like that. And they're just like, we're going to keep that going. And it's just like, cool, I guess.
Don't ever remember this being a thing. I don't know.
It was only in Japan. It was only in Japan. They never translated them and brought them to the US.
I mean, it would make no difference to me if they brought them over to the US. But anyway.
I don't know. They're just like silly and they're okay. I don't know. They're going to have 4 more episodes coming out starting on June 5th on the Japanese Pokemon Kids TV channel.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just really weird. I don't know how to describe it. But if you're interested in that, there you go. I don't know. We're going to like mix together Pokemon Go stuff today as well. Pokemon Go announced the next event. Right now they're in the Lumiose City X event. The next event starts this week is the Lumiose Legends Y event, which is going to bring Yveltal to Tier 5 raids instead of Xerneas. They're also going to have field research to allow you to catch a Galarian Zigzagoon, Scraggy, and more Dark-type Pokemon, because that's what it's all about, Dark-type Pokemon. Pancham is also going to be added to the Strange Eggs, which are the eggs you can get from the Team Rocket Grunts.
Oh, yeah.
So, yay!
I thought those were only
Pancham.
for Dark types. Oh, yuck.
Yuck. Yeah, I don't know how it evolves yet. It's technically in the game. You can go get in a Tier 5 raid, like, right now. Sylveon will also be coming out in the second part of it, running until the end of May. So, if you want your Sylveon, that's the part to get it. Eevee can evolve into Sylveon if you earn hearts with it as your buddy.
Oh.
Well, it's Eevee evolves into Sylvie. Yeah, if you earn hearts. Yep, isn't that great? Doesn't everybody love buddy evolutions? They're the best part of Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Yep. They're the best part of Pokemon Go. Yep. Yeah, we've all really just like locked onto that. I understand. It just resonates. There's also going to be an event that will let you use your charge TM on a shadow Pokemon to let it forget frustration, which is a big deal.
Is it? I thought that was a joke.
Yes, apparently. No. It's apparently a big deal. Like, so ever since I started getting back into Pokemon Go, like I've been following like the communities and everything. And the one thing I see all of the time, like when they're like upset at Niantic for being Niantic and bad at their job, the one thing I see all of the time constantly is just, when are they going to let us have shadow Pokemon forget frustration? And it's just like, why do you care?
Exactly. They have terrible stats.
They're actually good attack stats. Fun fact. And some of them are actually useful in PvP and stuff like that. I think it's just a lot of people that are like super into PvP on Pokemon Go.
Weird to me.
It is weird to me as well. I am not a fan of PvP Pokemon Go. I don't think it makes sense. But that's
kind of same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's Pokemon Go. Yeah. There's a lot of things. Let's keep going.
Yeah, I'll actually take one.
Go for it.
Okay, so remember that for the 25th anniversary, they announced like a super cool project with tons of artists, and the most hyped up was Katy Perry collaborating with Pokemon. The song actually finally came out. It's called Electric. And it has a super cute video in which, like, she hangs out with her Pikachu, who used to be a Pichu when she was younger, and it's kind of adorable. And there's, the song, the video, some merchandise. It's all filled with Pikachu, which is it's starting to get questionable. Like, every single time there's an event, the entire line of merchandise is just Pikachu.
Yeah.
I feel like if they branched out a bit, they would sell more.
I don't know. I feel like we're not the target audience for that, honestly. Like, there's we're a certain type of Pokemon fan that's like super hype, and we're just like, man, I really love like Minior, and I really like Feraligatr, and stuff like that. Whimsicott actually gets some
Yeah,
love,
but-
but it's just like we like the specifics. We like the nitty gritty.
It's even just like, even if they just did, say, Pikachu and the 3 Gen 1 starters, for just people who hate the color yellow, they would have a version they could buy and like display in their house or wear or whatever.
I don't think that goes as well as you think it does. And my answer to that is just because the reason Pikachu was actually chosen as the mascot of Pokemon was because he was yellow. Like, that's one of the reasons. They chose him because he was yellow because he was very distinguishable from other big characters out there right now. Or at the time.
Like, because Mario is red and Sonic is blue and
Well, not just video
Link
game
is
characters,
green,
not just video game characters, but like characters in media in general.
oh, okay. So Hello Kitty is white and pink.
Yeah,
I get it.
and like
Doraemon's
the only other
blue
yellow one
and-
is like the only other yellow character is like Winnie the Pooh,
And he wears a red shirt.
and he wears a red shirt.
So-
So
Exactly.
he's dead in Star
So-
Trek.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yep.
Oh gosh, I love
Yeah,
that.
the song's pretty decent though. I think Shark in the Discord actually put it in the best way possible. He said that this is exactly what he wanted from this. He wanted a song that would help, that could be connected to Pokemon, but also works without Pokemon. And I think they nailed it on the head. I don't know that I would call this like the best song in the world, but I would definitely call it a Katy Perry song. And I think Katy Perry songs are good.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's
I
the
like
answer.
them.
Yeah. I think if you listen to it, it sounds to me like, yeah, I think Katy Perry would write this and read and sing it. I don't know. Like, that's kind of where I'm at on it. I don't have harsh feelings towards it, and I'm like, yeah, this is generally enjoyable.
I can just imagine Thatch just kind of somewhere. He's like, "Oh, hey, Miss Perry, have you heard this song? I think it's good for you."
Yeah. Hey, I'm her manager in this alternate reality.
Oh,
I think this would be a good song for you. Here's the entire Beach Boys discography. Could you repeat this? And we move on. All right.
I'm just that would make sense why she did the California Girls song. It was actually part of your plan.
Yes. Yes. Seeping through. In that timeline, Whimsicott's also a flying type, or at least was in Gen 5. So moving on.
There's some like really, really light video game news. They tried to
Super
patch
light.
something, but like they patched it. It was like a legendary thing failing.
So what happened? So there's an update to Sword and Shield, and what happened was Trick used to fail on Groudon and Kyogre, which is surprising they fix it now after Series 7 or Series 8 is over, when you could use both of them
Yup.
in the battles. Then also an example would be Zacian and Xerneas' alternate forms would show up in Team Preview, which was weird. Because those are usually forms that you just see like when they're in battle.
Yeah.
It would be like the equivalent of like seeing like the mega of a Pokemon on the team preview screen beforehand. It's just like I thought. I mean, it doesn't matter because like who's running a Zacian not in ground form?
Well,
Nobody.
I think maybe one person in the world ever.
On Pikalytics, it definitely has a not 100% like Intrepid Sword hold rate, but
well, Intrepid Sword it has 100%. Rusted Sword not so
no,
much.
I meant Rusted Sword. That's what I meant. It's got like a 99.7% like it holds the Rusted Sword.
It might be the biggest condemnation of Zamazenta. I don't actually know what its ability is called.
I don't know either. Dauntless Shield? Is that it? Dauntless
that's
Shield?
correct.
Yes, it is.
Hey, Thatch knows things. All right.
Nice.
If you're a big fan of Original Stitch, they've got new polo shirts with the starter Pokemon from Johto to Galar. Oh, wow. That's a lot, actually.
Yeah.
There's also 3 new Pokeball options for the shirts. You can get Premier Ball, Moon Ball, and a Dive Ball. If you selected a silver version of the Pokeball button, you will get a special tag featuring the Pokemon 25th Anniversary logo, which is the laziest logo, because they just took Pokemon 20 and threw a 5 on
But
it.
it's a special tag, Thatch. It's a
I don't
special tag. You know, the itchy things
The amount-
that you have to cut out 90% of the time.
I do not. I also don't wear polo shirts. Like, I'm very anti-polo shirt, and this might just be from my years of like private school education
Oh.
as a child. Like, because they would just be like, "Oh, you have to wear a polo shirt," and I'm just like, "Yeah, I just don't wear them anymore." My wife and my mother try to like buy them for me to wear, and then I just don't. They're just like, "Why don't you wear polo shirts?" I'm like, "Because I did that for like 15 years, and I'm over it."
I'm done with
I
that.
can't imagine wearing any of these. They're just the colors, maybe the water one, the colors for the green and the orange are just a little off.
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy them. It's fine. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna buy another Hawaiian shirt. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
If I wore this, I would expect someone to ask me to help them find something in a store.
Yes.
If you wear the dark blue one too, if you're at a Walmart, you're done. Like you work at Walmart now. You just walk in, you get absorbed in their ecosystem. All right. So I think to finish it off, you can right now in Sword and Shield get a Galarica wreath. It's live right now. It's from
it won't be when the episode airs.
When the episode airs, it won't be there. Well, you all missed out on the Galarica wreath because Thatch didn't read and doesn't know that May 16th is a Sunday. You all missed out on SPR1NGPAOR1 as the code. So, I mean, if you get an early access to this, I guess maybe you can get it. I don't know.
Dear editor, if you want to hurry...
Exactly. Bonus for whoever edits the news this week.
Yes. Dear editors. That is it for general Pokemon news. I do have like one small piece of PUCL news, and this is like semi-exciting. I'm excited about it. We're restructuring Patreon this month, such that if you are a $5 patron, you no longer give access to Pokemon giveaways. You just get access to our new monthly show, monthly-ish. I'm going to put monthly in quotes. It's like weekly/monthly, depending on how you want to listen to it. We have created the PUCL Anime Club, or PAC, because we like acronyms here.
We've
recorded the first batch of it.
PAC.
It's a pack. It's the PUCL Anime Club, where we go ahead and 3 episodes a month are me and 2 other people commenting through as riff tracks or commentary tracks would on the episodes of Pokemon Journeys. We've done the first 3 episodes so far. And then we have a 4th episode that is us talking about our impressions and talking about what we liked and what we didn't like and all that other stuff. So you can get that. That's going to be Patreon exclusive. So if you want to join Patreon at the $5 tier, I'm going to try to put the full batch of 4 episodes up this weekend. And then hopefully you can all just have a taste of what it's like if you haven't tried it, if you want to try it. That way, but in future months, it'll be like 1 episode per week, 3 riff tracks, and then 1 at the end for all of the other episodes. So definitely check that out. I would really appreciate it. Get some feedback on it. But if you want an extra podcast and you want us to talk about more anime, this is a great way to get us to talk about more anime. To hear that. We get that request a lot, and I just never think it fits in the proper PUCL format, you know? And I wanted to put it somewhere. So it's been a good time. We're going through Pokemon Journeys. It's kind of fun revisiting it, because I only watched them all once, and it's kind of fun watching them again. So I would definitely recommend you check that out if you're interested in more PUCL goodness. We're starting another show over on the Patreon. Other than that, yeah, let's kick it on over to PUCL's Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Oh hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
Thank you to Mark from the Dunsparce Gang for giving us that introduction. If you guys are ready, I'm going to jump into our first question here for you guys today, which is going to come from Spike on the Discord server. Generation 5 is the first generation to have a gym, or a name for the gym guide. What is their name?
I want to say Clyde.
You walk in and he's just like...
I want to say his name is Clyde.
That feels right, because my knee-jerk was Chuck, but that's a gym leader. But it's like...
Is Clyde also a gym leader somewhere?
No. No?
What's the name of the, like, oil tycoon gym leader in Gen 5? Clay, okay.
I'm willing to go with Clyde.
The very first thing that popped into my head was Clyde. So.
Okay. Well, all right. What is Clyde?
Clyde is correct. His name is
go
Clyde.
Whimsicott's brain.
Yeah, Clyde is correct. His name is Clyde. That's one for one. That's 1 for 1. This next one is going to be from... Ooh, okay. Let's see how good your Sword and Shield knowledge is. This is from Foxy on the Discord server. Well, Raihan's greatest rival is Leon. There is one other trainer that optional dialogue and the official Sword and Shield website states that he's never been able to defeat. Who is that trainer?
Wait, that Raihan has never been able to defeat?
Or that... No, that Leon has not been able to defeat.
Oh.
But Leon's never lost to anyone. That's his whole shtick.
Oh, no, maybe... No, it's Raihan. It's Raihan. It's Raihan.
Oh, okay.
No, it's Raihan. It's Raihan. I lied.
It's Raihan. Okay.
That Raihan. I misread the question. You are correct, Lynian.
Okay. Could it be Mustard or Sonia? I don't know.
Well, it's not Sonia. Sonia's not battle-y type. The other thought I had would be like Melanie.
Wouldn't know that because I've only played Sword.
Same, which is why the fact that I don't know it almost kind of makes me think.
So it's optional dialogue in the game, which makes me think they have a bunch of optional dialogues in the Galarstar tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on like how they get paired up and who you're paired with when you face them. I don't think it's Piers because Piers is like the underdog of all the gym leaders.
Mm-hmm.
It could like this would be a pretty like fine thing.
The only type that beats dragon is ice, though.
It's fairy. It's fairy though.
But
the
there's
fairy
not
type.
Yes, but I've seen the interaction between Opal and Raihan, and it's interesting, but it doesn't talk about that.
Okay, so it's not her?
I feel like Melanie's the best answer, because the fact that neither of us know it, and we've gone through an obscene amount of game text, tells me it's probably in S.H.I.E.L.D.
I haven't, yeah, that would be fair. The only other thing I can think of is Mustard. So and if it's on the official website and it's in the base game, it couldn't be Mustard until you get the expansion. So yeah, I'm willing to go with Melanie.
Melanie is correct.
Wow, way to go, Lynian.
Liger's comment, as he has a comment for every answer, is best new gym leader design by far. IMO.
Gosh, yes, she's so cute.
So that's 2 for 2. All right, this next one is your Pokedex entry question, as always. I'll read you a Pokedex entry. You have to lock in the Pokemon. If you get it wrong, I'll give you a second entry. If you get it right on the first one, you will get 2 points. If you get it right on the second one, you'll get 1 point. If you don't get it right at all, you get 0. So, this question is going to come from Shark Finnegan. Its Pokemon Sword entry states, it has short legs and can't walk very fast, but its neck and tentacles can extend over 3 times their usual length to nab distant prey. Who's that Pokemon?
That sounds like Sigma's baby, Cradily.
But is it Cradily or Lileep? Because I can't think of anything else that has a stretchy neck.
Well, if one of them has it, they both have it.
I suppose. I feel like we'll go with the big daddy. For Sigma.
Okay.
Sigma.
Let's go with Cradily.
Cradily is correct.
Nice. Ooh, we're on a roll, baby.
The second entry was going to be from New Pokemon Snap, and it says this Pokemon's body is so heavy even the rough seas can't wash it away. It can't move very fast, so it hides among seaweed and reaches with its tentacles to catch prey.
Yeah, we would have gotten it from that. It's so cute that it's like hanging out in the seaweeds.
I just like when you play the music button, it like dances.
It dances, yes. I love it.
So you guys are 4 for 3.
Woo!
And this next one is going to be your multiple answer question. I will only need, in this case, it looks like I will need 8 answers. There are 9 total.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll get 1 point per 4 answers.
Okay.
This is from the Unovian. Name all 9 cities and towns in the mainline games where the player can board a ferry to access another location.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wait.
Slateport, Lily Cove.
Wait. Okay, yes.
What?
Slateport, Lily Cove. Technically, the main city in Generation 5, because you can go to the island where you find Victini.
Yes, but I don't remember the name of it.
Is it...
Vermilion before we forget.
Wait, in Vermilion, you can't go anywhere. You can't reach another location from Vermilion. No, but the SSN,
though.
But the SSN doesn't take you anywhere. It's a trick question. It specifically asks you to take a ferry to another location, so Vermilion doesn't count.
Okay.
Is it
Canalave.
Jubilife?
This is actually incomplete. I'm looking at this list. It's incomplete. I'll still take like whatever answers you give me, and we'll figure out points.
Okay, Canalave gets you to Iron Island.
Yes.
Which ones have you said so far, by the way, so I can tally them up?
The three that, because we have one, but we cannot, for the life of us, remember the name of it. I said Lily Cove and Slateport, because you can use them to get to each other.
Yep.
We said Canalave.
You said Canalave?
That's true. Yep, all three of those are good.
Dewford.
That is also true. That is 4.
Okay.
So that's a point.
That's 4. That's a
Now-
point. Yep.
It's not called Jubilife City. Like, that's something else. Though the main
No.
city it's Castilia City.
Yeah, because
That
you can
one-
go to Victini's Island.
Yes, Castilia City for sure. Then is there the places in Gen 2 where you go from the town with the ampharos to the island
Do you
where
take
you
a
get
ferry
the
or do
medicine?
you just surf?
Oh, you might
Yeah, you
just
just
surf.
surf there. Miley City, Hokulani, and there's a third one. The Ula, what's the Ula? Not Ula Ula. What's the last one? Because you can take ferries between all of them.
Yes, and you depart
What?
from
You just need one more, then you're good, right? So
I
it's
know.
just
I'm
say-
trying to remember it. There's
you depart from Hauoli City. Hauoli City.
Haoli. Yes, that's it.
Yes.
Haole He Mali City. Seafolk Village is a good answer. So you guys got your 2 points. So you guys are
Yeah.
Cool.
whatever. What is this now? 6 for 4. Canalave, Castalia, Slateport, Dewford, Vermilion City, and Olivine City would both be acceptable answers because you can do it with
Okay.
both. You can go back and
Really?
forth to both. Yeah, because
Oh.
in Gen 2 you leave Olivine
In
City
Gen
to go to
2,
Vermilion
that's
City.
Right.
That you do that before the magnet train's fixed.
Can you tell that I've never finished a Gen 2 game?
You can also leave Vermilion City and fire red or leaf green to go to the Sevi Islands.
Right.
Oh, you depart from there. That's
Yeah.
You
right.
shaming me when I was right twice over.
I'm so sorry. I honestly thought, oh, it's a trick question. They won't get me. And then I was
You're
just
good.
dumb.
That's all of the answers, though. We did it.
Doesn't
Yay.
matter. We got answers.
You got your 2 points. All right, your next and final question, as always, is your base stat question. This one this week is going to come to you from Sleeve. Which fossil Pokemon has the highest individual base stat?
Archeops.
Does it? Wait, doesn't like something have higher defenses than he has
Wait,
attack?
highest base stat or base stat total?
Base
No,
stat.
individual base stat.
Probably Mega Aerodactyl, unless something has more than 150 and something.
I feel like there might be something that has like 120 defense, maybe somewhere.
That would be Bastiodon.
Yeah, and Bastiodon is a fossil and it has incredible defense.
But
So
do you
that
know
could
what?
be
It's
it.
split over two.
Wait,
but
wait,
do you
no,
know
no,
what
no, no,
isn't?
no, 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 no.
Rampardos.
No, Rampardos, exactly. 165 attack, I think. Nothing can beat that.
It's up there. It's definitely up there. It's north of 150.
Exactly. Is there any other fossil Pokemon that has a Mega?
Nah, well, no, because Mega Aerodactyl is the only thing that got Megas, and its speed is 150. So if it's like 160, 170 for the attack
I
on
think it's
Rampardos?
either 164 or 165. Something like
Okay.
that.
Well, it's above 150, which is Mega Aerodactyl's speed.
So it has to be Rampardos.
Yeah.
Rampardos is your answer?
Yeah.
Rampardos is unfortunately incorrect. The answer is actually Bastiodon. Bastiodon has a base defense stat of 168. Rampardos has a base attack stat of 165.
Oh, wow.
We were so close to getting
So close, yeah.
full points.
Very close. Mega Aerodactyl is in third there with 150 speed, and then Archeops follows it up with 140 attack.
Mm.
So,
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Cool anyway.
yeah, unfortunate, but yeah, Bastiodon snuck in there with its
Curse
3
you,
extra base.
Bastiodon.
Yep. All right, but that gives you guys 6 points today, and that changes up our leaderboard. Our leaderboard still has Claude in the lead with 23 points. Following up in a tie for second place, we have Whimsicott and P. McGee with 21 points. Lynian, you are in fourth now with 14 points. Jushiro is in
Huzzah.
fifth with 13. Our Sigma in sixth with 12. Seth Vilo, Dr. Shamu are tied for 7th with 8, and everybody else has yet to get on the board. We're going to take a short break here, guys, and we're going to be right back at you with the topic. Hey guys, make sure to check out the PUCL YouTube this week and see if you can catch our Soul Silver PUCL Plays Nuzlocke, where we're going to play Soul Silver and we're going to Nuzlocke it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you head on over to youtube.com/PuclPodcast. And welcome to the topic. Our topic today is going to be managing expectations. I think this is just a good, timely one to talk about, just because we recently got a new trailer in quotes, dropped by a fan called Pokemon Adventure Sinnoh, and it's been making the rounds around the community, and everybody's just like, this is amazing, this is the best thing ever. And I think it's a very cool in concept, and it's a very cool idea. I think people kind of trying to poop on BDSP because of this trailer is it's kind of missing the point of a lot of things on a lot of different levels. And I don't know, it's just kind of a fun conversation to have, just like think about what we could realistically expect from Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely think there's some criticisms that you can make that aren't unrealistic. We can talk about BDSP and being like, the chibi style is done very poorly, and it's a little bit, yeah.
It's like, it's not done poorly in and of itself. It's a weird choice to make.
Yes.
Which I disagree with.
And I would argue it doesn't look great, as in, like, there were other ways to execute a chibi style that wouldn't look so...
Yeah, I saw, like...
I'm the exact same boat.
I saw, like, a reshaded picture, and the guy probably took, like, 35 seconds in Photoshop and improved it immensely.
Yeah, I saw that, too. I don't know, I don't have too many criticisms for, like, BDSP in terms of looks outside of, like, yeah, that could have been done better. But in my personal opinion, I don't know, I think people who expected it to be, like, just like Swish with, like, no grid and everything were kind of too hopeful.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's not that's not too far, but some of the stuff in the alleged he's going out of his way. It's not a trailer, but the game concept pitch.
Yeah. I want, if you're one of those people who are just like, this was way better than BDSP, blah blah blah, I would just like want people to remember, this isn't pooping on the guy that made it, is that these are just all renders. Yep. These aren't gameplay. These aren't gameplay. It's renders.
These, like, it looks super cool. I'll agree. There are some animations that, let's say, they are comparable to the famous 2 frames per second chingling.
I still love that chingling.
In the Arceus trailer that people have been, like, harping on for weeks.
I think it's hilarious. I'm not going to harp on it, but it's hilarious.
It was pretty funny. But yeah, as you said, like, the video calls it a game concept, but it's really a collection of cutscene concepts and then a couple of gameplay things that would not actually work in a real game with at least, like, they could theoretically work, but as Lynian was explaining to us off the air, in fact, Lynian should explain this.
They have this scene in the trailer, so if you haven't seen it, you can watch it and you'll know what we're talking about. But for everyone who hasn't, just to kind of catch up, there's a scene where they're, like, putting outfits on Pokemon. And when I saw that, I knew for a fact this would never be possible, because it's frankly an obscene amount of effort. And if you're like, oh, it's just a couple models, you can stack them, and then no. So the best way I can think to do it, if you wanted to have it, as the thing implies, fairly free form, you have to tag every part of every Pokemon where all things go. You have to test every single item on every single Pokemon to make sure it doesn't clip weird. You have to scale it. You have to apply physics to the object. You have to make sure the physics don't clip through any possible animation that the thing is running through, including that it shrinks and faints, and, like, all of that works. You have to do an obscene amount of scaling and model testing. You have to make sure that any given attack hitting this thing does not break the game, and you cannot script this. It pretty much has to be tested. The amount of effort that it would take to do it is completely it is impossible. Not in the sense that it can't be done, but in the sense that you would be delivering a game with a $400 price tag per unit, because you simply cannot afford to have that many hours on any given feature. Yeah. And there were multiple things in that trailer that would require obscene amounts of QA. You could not do this and have a quality, polished product in under, like, 7 or 8 years. And the cost required based off what they already have existing is too high. They could not turn a profit on that, which which makes it impossible. That's just how the numbers work.
I think as a wish list, it's kind of interesting to see what the Pokemon community wants as a whole.
Very interesting.
This is a good avenue for that. I think, like, going back to the idea of just, like, managing expectations, I think it's somewhat, you have to remember, though, still, like, hey, what is possible, like Lynian was saying. And maybe some of the things aren't entirely possible. I don't know. Going back to just the idea of, like, expecting it to be Switch style, and Lynian, I hope you disagree with me so we can have, like, a good discussion. But you actually pushed back. I appreciate that. I don't know. For me, I'm just like, well, that's going to be a lot of work to, like, get rid of the grid-based stuff that they had to already do.
But it's not much more difficult than completely... At some point, they had to completely remake Sinnoh, because they did not just take the existing maps, port them, and then retexture them, because they did not exist as textures. They existed as sprite maps.
So I would agree with you, and I would say right now that it's easier to just lay out the grid that they had, though, and just model a map based on that. Then try to make a zoomed-in 3D structure like they did for Sword and Shield.
There's so many ways that you can get around that, though. Like, there's so many tools that game development studios, in particular ones, like, they subcontracted, yes, but they should have been able to get the engine code if they're working on something like this.
Well, no, they should be, because they're working very closely with TPCI, or not Game Freak in general, because I mean, they made Pokemon Home a very, very
and they had the whole
good
battle
menu management piece of software,
right? And they had the whole good. They had the battle engine, which is like, frankly,
so
it's far more.
That's more important, I think.
Code.
I think that's more important anyway. Is just take that battle engine. Because honestly, I don't care about the overworld at all. I'm not the person that cares. Like, I wasn't like, oh, I can't wait to see it. I've never been like that even with like Oraz or even Johto. I wasn't like, oh man, I can't wait to see Goldenrod City in Gen 4 graphics. I was more like, yeah, I just want to go back to Goldenrod City and have a physical special split.
But
that's kind of where I was at.
The battle engine already has most of the 3D elements just to be able to run it in general, like being able to render trainers, Pokemon, like that kind of motion thing. Enough, trust.
I don't know how much that ports over to like the overworld though.
Well, what I'm saying is those kinds of elements exist, which means they have to have, at some point in the code, there has to be the elements that manage that. And if they have those, it's frankly not impossible to do. I'm not saying...
Oh, no, we'll find out afterwards.
What I'm saying is it was a decision. It wasn't something they did because it was easier. It was a decision they made because they... Yes.
I think in terms of design, it was easier for them to just not have to think and just go one-to-one with the maps.
It could have been... It could have also been that, like, I recently started a playthrough of Diamond, which I had never played before. I've only played Platinum once, like 11 years ago.
To experience the horrible.
Yeah, I want to have, like, basis for comparison when I play BDSP.
She wanted that Ponyta on her team.
No, I don't want a Ponyta. I picked the 5-starter. But as much as I love Piplup, I looked at the starters and I thought, if I don't pick Chimchar, I'm going to regret it.
At least like Galarian Ponyta might be in the remake, so that'd be cool.
Oh, that would be cool. But anyway, the point that I was trying to make is that it feels very, very nice, except for the part where it's like glacially slow. And I think maybe they tried out a couple of concepts of like, okay, we know we want to make like a grid-based map, and then we want, like, maybe they threw out like a tiny experiment of a non-grid-based movement, and they thought, no, this doesn't make sense because the characters look out of place with the world.
Maybe.
And they decided to go this way instead.
That could be possible. The
feel is rather maintained from the trailer.
Yes.
So maybe that, like, they wanted to keep the flavor of Gen 4, and they made this choice. It's a choice. It's a questionable choice, but it's a choice that I can understand.
I think that's where I come down on it, is because I've seen a lot of the tools. My partner works a lot in 3D development kind of thing, so I know a little bit from what conversation we've had about this. And frankly, if they had even if they didn't have the exact stuff they used for Sword and Shield, if they just bought Unity, which they know they would make their money back, they could have done it, and it would not have been much more difficult. The concept artist still needed to go and re-over every map and see how it would look in the 3D. Like, still had to do these things. Can't just upscale a sprite to a model. They chose this, and it's probably in that we want to make it as close to the originals as possible. That, you know, this is a faithful remake, is what they keep trying to say.
They've only said it once. To be fair, we keep saying that they keep saying that, but there's been like one press release and one trailer.
Okay, it was still within their opening salvo of what they want people to take away.
It is very different than the language they use for like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
I can see that they're like, hey, new studio, take this over, and they went, how do we want to do, you know, we don't want to just upscale it, let's remake, let's do a revamp kind of thing. I can see that being the decision, and it is.
I wonder if it's also like a management thing. Like, because this is the first time that Game Freak was like, okay, other company, you drive the car now. And I wonder how much of it was Masuda being like, I don't know how much I trust Ilka to go ahead and just like make a good Pokemon game. And he just like went into their office because he's listed as producer still. And he went into their office and he says, we're just going to remake this 1-to-1 because I want to see if you guys can do it, because I don't want to greenlight any changes that a non-Game Freak person makes or something like that. I wonder if like some of it's control.
Some of it could be control.
And maybe even the PR is a result of this. Like, we're telling you it's a faithful remix so that you're not worried about it being made by another company.
Yeah, I think they were really, especially from the way that when they announced it, it very much sounded like they were very worried that that people were going to be like, it's not made by Game Freak, and that they wanted to ensure people that it'd be okay.
The Game Freak thing in the same trailer.
Exactly. They gave us Legends Arceus, even though it was like barely workable amount of footage, like with the 2 frames per second Pokemon in it, because they knew that if they waited until E3 to show us that and they just gave us BDSP, people would flip.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely correct. I think it was very much like, hey, we had this other company try it out. We want to see what the fan reception is to it. Do we do this again? And I think it's mostly a net positive in terms of getting good games, right? Because it takes a load off of Game Freak and it lets Pokemon keep making money. And this is kind of what needs to happen. Pokemon's been expanding for so long, but they haven't been really expanding their manpower, really, outside of outsourcing some things. But they haven't been really expanding like crazy. And it means that multiple studios are going to have to handle the IP.
Yeah.
Ilka is a weird choice, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's like, okay, so we have seen the result of Ilka's previous work with them. Maybe it was like an internal thing that they especially liked the way these people worked with them.
I think that has to be it, because there's no way they were just like, yes, these guys made Pokemon Home. They should be good at making an RPG. Because like, I don't think those skill sets necessarily go 1-to-1. Because I would say something like Pokemon Home probably does take a different set of skills than something like Game Freak does.
Yeah.
Because Game Freak is going to say, oh, hey, we're really good at making RPGs. And Ilka's going to go, well, we're really good at like cross-platform customization and stuff, support like that. And those are two different wheelhouses. So it would have to be a personnel thing. Like, we really like Ilka. We think Ilka can do it.
Also, even like, they're reliable. They have always delivered at or before the time crunch that we gave them. We know that their working situation during the pandemic has been such that we can rely on them constantly to always deliver stuff like that, you know?
I don't know. The whole development has been very weird. And we're sitting here 2 months after the announcement waiting for a second announcement or a second news drop, which will happen somewhat soon.
What struck me is that I ended up seeing this trailer because there were like PokeTubers that I'm subscribed to that were doing their reaction videos to it. And it kept ending up on my YouTube page. And the thing is, if this had been a real trailer, people would have ripped it to shreds.
Probably.
Because of all the issues we've mentioned and others. And so I thought, of course, like, you don't have the same expectations from a fan-made concept. But at the same time, the fan-made concept, as you mentioned, does not have the same constraints of having to actually deliver a workable game in a timely manner and with a reasonable price tag. So people should like of course, appreciate the trailer, quote unquote, the game concept for what it is, because there was a lot of work that went into that. And it looks cool. It's very hype. It's got its own like music stuff, its own concepts, its own art. It's a lot of work, and it came out really well for what it is. But it is what it is. Like, as Lynian explained, you could never actually make a game like that. So it's interesting, like, how people are willing to pile on the company that then actually delivers you a game. And then just say, oh, look, this guy does it so much better. And I thought it was fair to mention this. Like, people should like take a step back and think, wait, why am I reacting in such different ways to these two things?
I think you are correct in that assessment, just because I think people are unjustly fair to Game Freak. And I don't think I wouldn't disinclude myself from that. I also think that in terms of Game Freak, we can be a little bit more critical because they want our money, right? And so we can be like...
That's absolutely fair. Like, this guy did all that work for free.
Yeah, they want our money. Like, this guy did it because he had a cool concept, and he wanted you to... Millennium Loop, by the way, for those of you at home. He, like, had a cool idea, and he's like, hey, this is something I'd like to see. Let's try to render it out and see what it might look like, and then show people what it might look like. I mean, it's one of those things that always gets people really happy. They're like, oh, cool, this looks really cool. And, you know, Lynian and I have somewhat similar thoughts, and like, well, how do you do that? How do you actually do that? Sometimes it's very, very difficult to do that, and you realize the production costs are just not worth it. But when it comes to Game Freak, they want you to give them money for a product, and so we can be like, hey, I wish this product was better. And I don't think that's unfair to them. If I went up to Millennium Loop and I'm like, man, I really wish that you would make this a little bit better so you could actually make it work. And you could be like, no, I just did it for fun. And I think those are two different scenarios.
Yeah, we're not saying that the games are above criticism, just that this kind of criticism is a little unfair.
Not even that. It's just that, like, criticism is fair, but since, you know, the theme of this episode is expectations, you have to actually think about what would be realistic for you to expect from an actual trailer of an actual game, and that it is like the same way it would be unfair to ask Millennium Loop to do something else or change what they've done because theirs is just a fan project. At the same time, it would not be fair to ask of Game Freak something that it would be completely impossible to do and still keep like one game a year at a $60 price tag.
I'm in the world where you don't need a game a year, but that's just me.
Yeah.
That is also fair, honestly.
I don't think we need a Pokemon game every year. I would really love just like if Swish was the only Pokemon game we had from 2019 to 2022, and it was just like, here's a DLC. Here's a DLC.
Snap.
Yeah.
Except Snap, please. That game was really good.
I meant in terms of mainline Pokemon games. Spin-offs like Snap, keep them coming, man. I think the best experience I've had with Pokemon spin-off games in the past, I'm going to say like 7 years, has been New Pokemon Snap and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX.
Yeah, both of those were good.
Both of those were very good, and I think those were the best in like the past 7 years because the rest of it's just been shovelware for mobile phones. Like that's been every other spin-off game. Like they try to get you hyped for like Pokemon Quest.
Ugh.
And then they try to get you hyped for Pokemon Cafe, Pokemon Masters.
Every time I remember Pokemon Quest exists, I question.
Did you know it just got an update in China?
Yeah. Finally.
Okay.
Like a major update in China. Like their game is far more advanced than our Pokemon Quest.
It's probably like a very good game for small children. But
it's very weird. To be fair, that's like the first promise that came out of that 2019 press conference to be fulfilled.
Oh, yeah. The one with like Pokemon Sleep and...
Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Detective Pikachu 2, where the movie doesn't seem like it's happening because what's the actor's name? Pretty much
Justice
just like...
Smith?
He's like, they haven't asked me to come back for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I'm sad.
That entire press conference was just a mess, and it's hilarious.
I was thinking what they could do is like maybe they, instead of making it like a sequel, they want to do something similar, but another story, another like setting and stuff like that, which is why they haven't gotten back to Justice Smith. But I don't know that I like it First of all, because I really liked Justice Smith in Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
There's a solid
And
7 out
second
of 10.
of all, I don't think you can recapture the magic of Detective Pikachu very easily because so much of it was freaking Ryan Reynolds being Pikachu. Such a crazy concept. Like, it's not the kind of craziness you can, like, bottle up and pull out again later. You know?
No, but it's the kind of craziness I can't wait for the next Deadpool movie where they get to make jokes about Pikachu.
Yes.
Oh, man. So I think this is a good place to stop. Just be nice, people. Be nice. Remember, Game Freaks are humans.
I did have one thing I kind of wanted to close on because we're talking about expectation. And there's a quote from a book that I really love about quite literally expectation. It goes, "Expectation, that is the true soul of art. A man will find a single coin in the mud and talk about it for days, but when his inheritance comes and is accounted 1% less than he expected, he will declare himself cheated. Give me an audience who have come to be entertained but expect nothing special. To them I will be a god."
Wow.
Wonderful. On that, let's kick it on over after this short break to the Pokemon of the episode. We'll catch you guys on the flip-flop.
The episode.
And welcome to our Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 303, Maile, the Deceiver Pokemon.
It's new Pokemon Snap Dex entry, because these are now things we have. Those huge jaws on Mawile's head are actually steel horns that have been transformed. It seemed to take a while for it to warm up to you. Staring down the jaws of a wary Mawile isn't my idea of fun.
Gosh.
So Maile is not good. I don't know how it's the Pokemon of the episode. But
because it's weird that it's even on any team.
Mega Maile used to be good.
Oh god, I loved it so much. I miss
Did you know that Mawile's German name is Flunkifer? I'm still on the page. I saw that and what?
I think I had seen that. It's quite...
So Maile's got base 50 HP, base 85 attack, base 85 defense, base 55 special attack, base 55 special defense, base 50 for a base stat total of 3.
Wow.
To translate, bad.
No. Very bad.
It does, however, get sheer force as a hidden ability, which I assume is what we're running today. I haven't actually looked at the
Nope, we're running Intimidate.
No, Intimidate.
We're Intimidate. Wonderful.
I mean, it's a defensive Mawile with a rocky helmet. It should have Intimidate.
So this Maile is holding a rocky helmet with Intimidate. Base with EV's 252 HP, 252 special defense, or 252 regular defense. 4 speed, just outspeed those other base 50s, I guess. Impish nature, foul play, so you can hit things that are bulking up. Fire Fang, I guess for coverage, maybe?
Ferrothorn, specifically.
Yeah, probably Ferrothorn. Actually, you know what? Ferrothorn's good. Iron defense and Endure. I like the Endure because it's probably just like, hey, hit me, and then take the rocky helmet to die.
Exactly, and then you have to hit me again. I love it too.
I actually love that. What? How cheeky is that? That's super cheeky.
Super cheeky, I love it.
That's super cheeky. Yeah, so that's Maile. Now, because you're playing BSS, the rest of the team has to be good because you're playing with one bad Pokemon. So the rest of this team is pretty standard.
It's like the Legends rule, but, bad.
Yeah, so Landorus Therian with Lumberry, 252 attack, 252 speed, jolly nature, EQ, fly, rock slide, and swords dance. This is just standard Lando to go big.
Yawn.
That's it.
Yeah, it's as standard as it gets.
It doesn't get any more standard than that. I don't know. This Maile, so I'm going to try to read this translation. Go ahead.
Yeah, so another relatively standard thing is this weakness policy Latias with max HP and max speed and 4 defense. Timid nature, 0 attack IVs because, it is weak to foul play. And it's got Calm Mind, Aura Sphere, Stored Power, and Recover. So the idea is essentially you get some Calm Minds up and you can use Stored Power, or you get hit, they pop your weakness policy, and you're already at +2 special attack and +2 attack. So your Stored Power is already hitting like a truck.
Base 100 plus stab, yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really, really good. And of course, Aura Sphere for coverage because you can't do anything to dark types otherwise, and it also helps with steel types. Steel types you can hit.
You can still hit them. Dark types.
You can still hit them. It's just
It's just so you can't get legitimately walled out
No,
by
you
dark
can't hit
types.
them with stored power. It's a psychic move. So you
yeah. No, I'm
like,
saying it's also for that. It's multifaceted. That's all.
Yeah, I mean it helps with steel type, but it's fun for dark type.
Yeah.
And then something that is actually a little more complicated in its EV spread, so I hope Thatch is about to come through with that translation, is this choice band Azumarill obviously has huge power as an ability. It's adamant with 140 HP, max attack, 4 defense, 12 special defense, and 100 speed, and its moves are Liquidation, Play Rough, Superpower, and Aqua Jet.
Yeah, so
Very standard,
the
isn't it?
translation doesn't tell you anything about it. It's literally a guy asking for help optimizing everything.
No.
That's what the translation is.
Cool. I'm assuming and hoping that the 140 HP. I don't know. I don't think this lives like a grassy glide.
Definitely. You're hoping that there's no Rillaboom. Yes, this is BSS.
Exactly.
BSS doesn't have a lot of Rillaboom to begin.
Yeah.
Just because it's not nearly. People found their way around it. Like Lando just crushes it. Like you just have max flying on anything.
Yeah,
And,
pretty much.
And Rillaboom's like, oh, I'm sad.
Yeah.
It's way easier to block it in BSS than it is.
Mm-hmm.
VGC's.
Yeah.
I think VGC might be staler than BSS.
At this point, possibly, yeah.
Just because it's always like, oh, you have an Incineroar, I have a Rillaboom, and then,
Yeah, now that they've done away with the legends,
yeah, I know it's not fun. I don't know why they only did that for 3 months. Poo on you.
it was a lot of
Pokemon.
fun.
It was fun. I don't care if it was balanced or. That's my
And it
answer.
wasn't.
It wasn't. Definitely
Speaking
not.
of unbalanced, Ultra Beast stats. We have Neoligo with an Assault Vest. It's got 4 HP, 4 defense, sure, 172 special attack, 76 special defense, 252 speed, timid. It's got Sludge Wave, Power Gem, Grass Knot, and Dazzling Gleam. It's a Neoligo, but
Yeah.
cool.
This is actually not standard. They don't run AV that often. It's usually power.
Yeah, no,
Herb.
they usually run Power Herb.
Yeah.
But Neoligo's got like 130 special defense, so
Yeah, it's bulky.
I can see this working.
Yeah, and this one doesn't have Meteor Beam, so why would
Yeah.
it be running a White Herb?
Mm-hmm.
A Power Herb, sorry.
Yeah. So then we got our last member. It's Zapdos with a choice scarf. Offensive Zapdos, I like. Not everyone does. This is the electric one.
You like offensive everything.
Yeah, I'm an offensive person. It's got 92 HP, 4 defense, 252 special attack, 4 special defense, 156 speed. No idea what those are for. Modest nature. T-Bolt, Thunder, Hurricane, Heat Wave, Volt Switch. It's an offensive Zapdos. I am happy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yep.
really like Zapdos.
This is like a very like basic team with the miles. So like I don't know. I like BSS teams because you can get like one spice member in there and then like they're typically just balanced otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then if you can't figure out the gimmick, you still have a team that works because you only have to bring 3 Pokemon.
exactly. Like, if you see a chance to use your weird Pokemon, you use it, and if you don't, you don't.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% like recommend trying it out. I don't know. Just play Pokemon. If you want to play Pokemon, get into it. Like we'll put this team up on the Discord server, which you can now join by going to pucldiscord.com. Yeah.
Woo!
I know, isn't that exciting? And you can go over, join the Discord server, grab these things, and you can just play and have fun with us. I'm very excited to see what people can do with it. I don't know. I want to figure out this mile. I don't know. It's just cheeky. I don't know if it's good, but it's cheeky.
Yeah.
Because like I'm looking at it, I'm just like, man, Ferrothorn does this better. But it's all right. I think it's always fun to be able to try to make a Pokemon that. So definitely go try it out. We're gonna kick things on over though, guys, to the mailbag.
It's mail time! Send in your emails! Mail!
And welcome to the mailbag. The mailbag is the part of the show where you send in emails to us at puclpodcast@gmail.com, and we read them on the show. We typically have a prompt. Last week we asked you guys if you thought Pokemon games should have DLC. We got some answers. I'm excited to read them. However, as always, this segment is brought to you by the fictional energy drink Green Tauros, the energy drink that gives you home.
Pubs.
And as always, we'll give out the Green Tauros badge to anybody who inspired. We're biased. So let's go ahead and jump into it. This week, Our first email is going to come to you from Slee. Leave Lynian wanted this one.
Speaking of bias. No. All right. Hi, guys. Sleeve here to answer this week's mailbag question. Should all Pokemon games have DLC? My answers are no for spin-offs and sorta kinda maybe for main series games. I'll split my reasoning for both into two sections. Fair warning, this is a long one and I apologize. Don't. Alright. Section 1 is side games and spin-offs. I don't think they need DLC, not paid DLC anyway, for the simple reason that they're usually short games. If you're not expecting to invest a huge amount of time into them, they feel more like a supplement to the main series than they do a standalone entity in most cases. Additional courses in Snap or an additional dungeon in Mystery Dungeon could work, but for the most part, I'm in the no camp for this. Series 2 is the main series games, and this is where things get complex. Subjectively, I loved the DLC for Swish. It was a great fun and added a lot of value to the base game. However, I would like to compare this to the overall value of the past main series games releases. If we take ORAS as an example, we got a base game that I think had at least equal value to the base game of Swish, and then the addition of the Delta episode, which felt like a DLC and carried similar value to the Isle of Armor, in my opinion, and that was all but bundled into the same price as the Swish base game. One argument you could make is that a remake, and therefore the base game actually carries less value as it's something that's been before. This example, therefore, is only really applicable in the case of players who haven't experienced RSE. If you look at the main series of each generation, historically there's been a requirement to purchase a minimum of 2 games to experience the full content available to you, assuming that you've traded for version exclusives. For this, you get some very limited amount of additional content on top of the base game. Gen 7's offering being the Ultra Wormhole and the Ultra Recon Squad. This doesn't match up to the value added by IOA or CT for Swish. In fact, I think the only game that really does offer up additional content that does match is Black and White 2. I guess my answer would be yes, DLC. Yeah. Well, there was more than just those 2 things, but yeah, in general, I think he's right.
Gen 7 was kind of like, I don't know.
It was weird. I don't want to get into it.
Gen 7's a problem. Gen 7 had problems. Also, Ultra Recon Squad, like hearing that out loud makes me very sad because that's a really bad name.
Yeah, they had the Mantine stuff and there were a couple extra areas and things, but it wasn't a lot.
No.
I guess my answer would be yes, DLC for main series games, but that's solely because third versions and sequels are an ineffective way to provide additional content to a Pokemon game, with the exception of Black, White 2. Sorry for the email and if it got a bit rambly in places. Thanks for the great content. I appreciate you all. Sleep.
Yep.
I don't know if I agree about short games shouldn't get DLC, because there are games I've played that were short that had DLC in them that I appreciated the additional content for. We're talking outside of Pokemon. Mario Rabbids was a fairly short, self-contained game. The Donkey Kong DLC for it was absolutely great and added a lot. But I think it's going to be a game by game more than anything else.
I would even say in the spin-offs, I think it depends on like what the spin-off is, right? Like I would love Mystery Dungeon DX. I would welcome that. Pokemon Snap maybe at some point, like maybe I'll be like, yeah. I think the price has to be right for Pokemon Snap for me to be like, this was worth it. I'll still get it, but there's just like I'll get it, but I won't be happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, I used a voucher to get Pokemon Snap because I
you and your fancy vouchers in Europe.
Yeah. I don't know that I would have bought it for €50. Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm still amazed that the US is like the only region that doesn't have it
to
blows
be
my mind.
Fair, €60 is more than $60.
That is true, but Europe should just have to pay more. It's only fair.
Why?
I'm kidding. I don't know. It's only...
The other thing I take umbrage with is I think that he said that Isle of Armor had the same amount of value as Delta episode, which
I disagree with that.
No, totally no. Isle of Armor had so much more.
Isle of Armor had 100 extra Pokemon, not one. It had maybe a similar amount of story content, but it was all on new maps instead of just scouring old ones.
Yeah.
There was, frankly...
But did you get to rocket ship to space on a Mega Rig?
No, I got to fight my way up a battle tower with a restricted party and then go from there, and then had an entire post-game battle content open up too, and got new moves.
I still think the Rayquaza is cooler, but...
I still didn't get to rocket ship through a meteor with my Mega Rayquaza, okay?
Isle of Armor gave me expanding force and DD, and that emotional high I'm still not coming down from, so you know what? I'll take it.
All right, let's move on to this next one from Zay Paladin.
Yup. What it do, PUCL crew? Hope you guys are all doing well.
I like that opening.
I like that a lot, yeah.
That feels really good. Like, that's got a good mouth feel to it.
Yeah, it does.
What it do, PUCL crew? Oh, man. I'm going to do that every time I come into, like, voice chat now. when I come into voice chat in Discord. What it do, PUCL crew?
I'm sure that won't get old immediately.
Oh,
No.
it will. And I'm going to drag it into the...
You and I are the same. Like, never grow tired of jokes that other people hate us. Anyway, hope you guys are all doing well. Me, I'm doing great, as I'm about to finally graduate college after what has felt like an eternity.
Good.
job.
Yay!
Congrats.
Congratulations. Can't wait to finally have a semi-normal schedule and be more involved in the community going forward.
Yay!
Oh, I'm sorry that I keep pronouncing that. That's the only word I pronounce like in a
Schedule.
European way. I bet it feels super out of place.
I mean, for me, it just sounds like I'm watching, like, Sherlock Holmes or something.
You can't say those things because then my brain tells me we totally could pull off a British accent. And I'm like,
No, you
no, we
cannot.
can't. You know for a fact that we can't. And my brain is like, but we could.
We could try.
No, I've tried it. Sounds horrible. As for the topic, I am all for Pokemon DLC going forward from the mainline games. By the way, when I did the interview for the other podcast, Alex, the host, is British. And so slowly throughout the interview, my accent was shifting towards
Oh,
his.
my God.
Oh, no. Oh,
It
no.
gets really stupid at times. Anyway, I think that this is a fantastic opportunity for Pokemon to make getting version exclusives a bit easier. You know how certain Pokemon in the base Sword and Shield games are exclusives, such as Mawile and Sableye? I think that future games could use DLC to make these Pokemon available for players that don't encounter these Pokemon naturally. So, for example, if you bought the Isle of Armor for Sword, then you would be able to catch Sableye on the Isle of Armor. This would be a cool way to help players who maybe don't have a PUCL community like I did, at least when the game first was released. So this is a good idea, but at the same time, they kind of did that with, sharing
The raids.
raids and raid events. So
That was the idea.
they had a different idea of how to do it. But it's interesting. Like, I could totally see that going into a DLC because the concept is if you have people to play with, you get them in the base game. If you don't have people to give them to you, you get them in the DLC, which comes later anyway. So you're not taking away from the experience of getting them from other people if you have that chance. But if you don't have that chance, it gives you a way to do it.
Yes, but the people who have no real trading option also cannot download the DLC, because that would mean they don't have internet and can't
Not necessarily
go out of their way
true,
to get
because there's
it.
also the $20 barrier in Nintendo Online.
Yeah, exactly. There's Nintendo Online, and then there's also the fact that have you tried getting either you do that or you have to use Pokemon Home, which is also an additional cost.
Yeah, let's not talk about how expensive Pokemon gets if you try to play the way they want you to play Pokemon.
Yeah, it's kind of.
It gets kind of bad.
The GTS is free, right?
Yes, if you pay, you get like extra Pokemon. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's still fair though. But still, like maybe you don't want to have to deal with the GTS. Maybe like it's so much easier when you can just like drop into our Discord and say, "Hey, does anyone have a Mawile for me?"
Oh, absolutely. If you need here's a list. Like, I need these exclusive, right? And somebody's like, "Oh, I've got the other version," and you just do it right.
Exactly. So, for the non-mainline games like Snap and Mystery Dungeon, I think DLC should be treated the same way Animal Crossing handled it. Instead of having buyable content, release add-ons or updates to keep adding to the games to keep them fresh. This way, the updates don't feel like people have to pay an additional amount for a complete game, unlike some other developers. I'm looking at you, EA.
Oh.
Let's not even go there. By the way, the diving addition to Animal Crossing is my favorite thing. I didn't touch it for a year. I restarted my island. I found out I could dive for sea creatures, and I spent 3 days just that. It was amazing. I loved it. So I snorkel, or I used to snorkel, I scuba dived a bit too, and I enjoyed it a lot, but it was physically so taxing because I'm so out of shape. And just being able to do that with like cute little creatures in a video game was like, perfect. Anyway, okay, I think that'll do it for me. But before I go, I gotta say thank you to everyone. I discovered you all around this time last year when the hype train for the Isle of Armor was chugging along. I really hadn't played Pokemon in a while, but once I stumbled across your podcast, I decided to give it another go. Immediately, I rediscovered my childhood when I needed it. You guys managed to make what otherwise would have been a long, bleak year all the more bearable. Be it sitting at my desk studying for hours, or working night shifts to help make some extra cash, I always had Thatch and company right there with me. And for that, I'm extremely thankful. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
That's so nice.
We appreciate it.
We appreciate it a lot. Anyway, I wish you all the best in all your future endeavors, and look forward to many more years of PUCL goodness going forward. Thanks again, the Paladin.
Many more? We're on like year 14.
Yeah, but a few. We probably have a few more.
I got like 3 in the tank, maybe. We'll see. Okay, moving. We're not quitting, guys. I promise. All right, this next one is from Mark, or I guess he's calling himself Yokozuna Mark in respects for Yokozuna, the sumo wrestler. Oh, hi.
I'm sorry, Mark. He doesn't know.
Is that the guy that died, or no?
No.
Oh,
no.
I don't know what it is.
Yokozuna is a rank.
Oh, well, it's for sumo. I still got that part right.
I want you all to know that every morning I went into general chat and I saw people talking about sumo, and I thought it was like a metaphor or an acronym for something, and it took me like 3 months to figure out, no, people were actually watching sumo matches.
Yes.
Mark does host them on the PUCL Discord, which is at pucldiscord.com if you want to join.
Fun fact, Mark was streaming sumo matches last night, and Seth thought he was streaming Sun and Moon, and was really confused why we were talking about it.
That's pretty much like it happened to me, but then I thought, no, they're obviously not talking about Pokemon. But then I thought it was like a euphemism for something weird.
Well, it is a euphemism for 2 men dressing up in single wraps of silk and slamming into each other, I suppose.
But when people have been doing that for such a long time, it gets less weird.
All right, email time. I've been playing through some of the older games recently, and something stood out to me. Compared to all the previous installments, Sword and Shield feels shallow. While Swish did some things great, they feel like poorly made games that for the most part weren't revisiting in the same way that previous generations are. However, the bright spots for me came from the content introduced in the deal. While not perfect, they provided some interesting environments to explore, new endgame content worth playing, and new Pokemon that enriched the Pokedex. In general, they felt more coherent. Like many Pokemon fans, I have complex feelings regarding future expansion. In the context of Swish, the expansions were necessary to make the game feel like it had any depth, especially in the post-game. As much as I love the idea of Pokemon games getting extra content after release, it needs to be for complete games. As most folks know, many game developers rely on post-release updates and pay-to-play options to make the game fleshed out and justify releasing unfinished and rushed games. That's the last thing I want from.
Yeah.
Let's look at another company that relies heavily on that model, Paradox Interactive. Paradox is infamous for making games that are bare bones on release and get pumped up later with free updates and expansion. This is a double-edged sword in many ways, in a way, because it gives the company incentive to continually work on a game long after release. The result are in-depth games that you can sink hundreds, if not thousands of hours, but you often have to wait for the games to get to that point. The other issue is the price. Europa Universalis 4, EU4, is still getting updates after 8 years. But to purchase all of the expansions, the price jumps to several $100s.
What?
Yeah, that's something that bugs me a little bit too, because like they sold like they are still selling like Pokemon bundled with the DLC, Sword and Shield, but it's like the full $90.
It's not over here. Here you can get it for like $70, so you essentially end up paying the DLC $10.
Yeah. It's still $90. Like if I went to Target right now, I could go pick it up for $90. And on top of that bundle doesn't actually it's not like it's on the cart. They're just giving you a sword or a shield cart and then like a download code for the DLC.
Yeah.
Which is just bad. Like, come on guys, that's a little lazy.
Yeah.
I bring Paradox up because in a way they have a robust DLC ecosystem that works. But is it a future that we want for Pokemon? I would love the opportunity to have Game Freak release one game every several years that they continually update and add new content for it. Talking is hard. It could help break the cycle of releasing a new game every, but I don't want any more lazy, hastily made games to justify. And the precedent set by Dexit means that they have all the reason to have us pay for access to old Pokemon further down the road. Well, it wasn't like paying for access.
No.
Unless you like home paying for it. But you could theoretically like, coupled with the price of home, which would be an absolute necessity to make this work, is it worth paying all that money? And with barriers like that, can Game Freak continue to claim in good faith that their games are for kids? They're for kids with parents that have... I hate being the pessimist, but I think the future looks grim for Pokemon expansions, but I'd love to be proven wrong. Catch you on the flip-flop. You coons at Mark. We should have started with him. The other two were happy.
Yeah. But you know what? Like, everything he says is fair, but if you look really deeply, like, after all, yeah, if you don't purchase home, the transfer process is very slow. Like, how slow was the process of getting stuff from Gen 3 to Gen 4? From Gen 4 to Gen 5, it was exceedingly slow.
The Gen 3 to Gen 4 transfer was absolutely the worst.
Yes.
Because that one...
4 to 5 was also pretty bad.
4 to 5 isn't nearly as bad as... And the only reason is because there's no artificial time limit that they put on themselves. Because on 3 to 4, you can only transfer 6 Pokemon a day. And then you're done.
Which one of the two is the one that you have to play a minigame to get them, though?
For, yeah.
You have to play the minigame. The minigame's okay. It's not bad. It's okay.
But it's a farther waste of time. I just want my Pokemon.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's why Bank was such an ingenious solution.
Exactly.
Bank was a very ingenious solution. And I mean, Home is just Bank again, which is confusing to me.
Bank was never free. Now you have a free version of Home, which means they still care about giving you like the bare minimum of access to your Pokemon with the minimum price tag.
My only criticism for the free version of Home is that you get 30 slots, right? You get a box, essentially, for the free version. And it is possible for you, like, say you're a kid and you don't know anything about Dexit or anything, right? You could theoretically transfer enough Pokemon to the free version of Home that don't transfer to Sword and Shield.
Out.
Yeah, and then you
and then they're stuck there, and then you have 30. Yeah, you've clogged your home. You've clogged 30 Pokemon that you can't move around.
That's so fair.
Like that's my probably biggest criticism of that solution. It's not a great one because like it's not like that's an edge case, but
yeah,
it's definitely something that could happen. Like you could solve essentially.
I think Mark goes a little far when he's like, it's paradox. It almost goes, it's the paradox or nothing, which I don't think is fair.
Yeah.
Because I think, Paradox does have really bare bones and then get pumped up later with free updates expansion. Like, they do have that, but this is also, like, the first game on a major home console, first game on the Switch, there's a lot of other things that I think made it so bare. And I don't think that saying, all Pokemon games from here on out are going to be this stripped down and then get paid DLC coming back. We don't know that.
Okay, so there are some decisions they made with Shield, though, that bother me, outside of just, like we could say, like, yeah, it's the first one on home console, but it's also the first Pokemon game they developed with a bunch of people on the level design team that had never done level design before. Like, not a single person on the level design team had done level design prior to. Several of them hadn't actually worked on a Pokemon game until 20.
But see, that's the thing, like, what were the senior staff members doing at that time then? And I think if Sword and Shield was to be the sort of transition game to a time where they outsource like the Diamond and Pearl remakes and they want to work on stuff like Legends Arceus, then maybe it suffered because it was a transitional game. If it was a constant choice going forward, that's another thing altogether, but we can't really know that yet.
And it might be Sword and Shield was such a internal fire, right?
Oh, I can absolutely see that.
That's why they've decided to do things like outsourcing work or working with other developers. If they just went, okay, we need to change up our approach. I think that calling this their default going forward is a little bold because they never said it was. It was a thing that they were trying, and I'm going to take them at that word for now. Until they give me a reason to doubt it, I think that's where you kind of need to be.
That's fair.
That's very, very... But yeah, that is it for the mailbag. This green Taurus badge. I like Zay Paladin.
Zay Paladin almost made me cry.
But he also said, what a do Puckle, and I think that's worth a minute.
Yeah.
He did say that, and I'm outvoted, so...
Yeah, what it do, Puckle Crew? Zay Paladin, you got the green Taurus badge. We'll give it to you on the Discord server. If you want to email us next week...
The Paladin, I don't want to vote against you, but I want you to know that you have inflicted hell upon me. Your email was fine.
Yeah, it's fair. And so I also want to give you guys a new one. Today's topic was a little somber-ish, a little serious. So I want to do a fun mailbag question for next week. And this is a question we asked a couple weeks ago that nobody responded to. And the question is, what is your spirit Pokemon for next week? Send that into puclpodcast@gmail.com.
I have something to say about this. Can you have a spirit Pokemon? Because in theory,
Yes.
like only people who belong to certain cultures can have a spirit animal.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
We can all have a spirit
Is this
Pokemon.
okay with Pokemon? Okay.
This is a culture.
Okay.
This is our culture, okay?
Okay, that's fair.
This is our culture. Who's your spirit Pokemon and why? Send it into puclpodcast@gmail.com.
I honestly think mine is Wiggly.
Ooh. All right. So yeah, send those in. Until next time, though, if you want to hang out with us, you can go over to puclediscord.com and come to our Discord server and hang out with us. It's a great way to do it. puclediscord.com. We finally did, guys. We found you an easy way to get to it. That doesn't involve show notes.
Now you just have to spell Puckle.
PUCL Discord.com. Definitely check us out. You want to party with like that? We just did our Pokemon Snap challenge thing. Like somebody's gonna win $10 for having a good Pokemon Snap pick. Come on over. Follow us on social media: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, wherever Puckle is sold. Yeah, you can go ahead and follow us over there. You can, of course, support us on YouTube at youtube.com/PuclPodcast. You can also go over to our Twitch channel, watch us live on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and whatever days we feel like being up there. Over at twitch.tv/ThePuclPodcast. That was interrupting the show. And then we can,
Again?
of course, yes, as always. And we can, of course, you can always support the show by going over to Twitch at twitch.tv/PuclPodcast and subscription, or you can go over to patreon.com/ where you too can cool things such as access to our new Puckle anime show, or Pokemon anime commentary show. You can also go ahead and get access to giveaway as well. So we really appreciate all of you listening and taking this. But here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, I have been Trainer Thatch.
I have been the fluffiest Whimsicott.
And I've been here, named Lynian.
And it's closing time.